Time is not money. You may have heard someone say, time is money. It's an old saying, but I'm here to tell you that time is not money. What do I mean by that? Time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. Most people who say time is money are putting money before their time, and that's why they're staying broke, is because they're actually trading a piece of their life on earth for that money. And you see it all the time in those who have jobs, particularly if they don't even like the job. They're actually using their time on earth to go and create money because they're valuing money at a higher rate than their time. And that is what's actually keeping them broke. How to shift that and move it, okay, is if you start to value your time beyond your money, and that means that you're putting time creation before money creation. And incidentally, that's actually how you get wealthy, okay? That's how you get wealthy, because the reason why you're probably finding it difficult to spend money on things that are gonna make you wealthy, like investing in yourself, skills, assets, and so forth, and starting businesses, is because you're so attached to that money, because you've actually given a piece of your life for it. And that's why you're finding it hard to deploy the money, because it's got a meaning of like, I've given up some of my life for that. I can't get rid of it, right? And that's keeping you in a hoarding mentality, which is preventing you getting wealthy. And so rather than spend your life looking for money by trading your time, elevate the value of time you have. Elevate how you value time. Elevate time beyond the money, and you'll start to look for ways to scale your time instead of trying to scale your money. Okay, and what I've noticed in my own personal life is if I've looked for ways to actually create more time, I've gotten wealthier. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you an example. When I was an employee, I was working in the Middle East in real estate development, and my time was spent in the office or commuting to get a specific pay rate every hour or every month, and that was never gonna change. No matter how much time I spent there or whatever it was, no matter how much work I did, I wasn't making any extra money. Okay, so I was actually trading all of my time for that money, and it was static. I hit a ceiling. I couldn't move beyond that. So I was then seeing that and thinking, well, how can I actually create more time here? How can I actually get out of this situation I'm in, where my time was dictated by someone else, or my time was limited because I had to be at that job 5 or 6 days a week, and I had to ask for annual leave to go traveling. So my time was in someone else's hands. And when I started to ask questions of myself, like, how do I actually get my time back from someone else's hands, is when I started asking better questions and getting better answers from those questions about, am I designed for 9 to 5 work? What else can I do out there to create money that doesn't take all of my time? And so that began my journey into taking some of the money I was creating from that job and putting it to work in stocks that were paying me a dividend. I was getting paid money without me having to be there. And that was my first foray into a different vehicle that was gonna give me extra cash flow to actually not have to be there to make the money, okay? So when I discovered that, I then realized, if I need to get out of this employee role, or if I need to move out of this situation where I'm trading all of my time for the money, and that's how I'm making money, I need to elevate and value my time better. So I thought, what else can I do that's gonna give me more flexibility? So I was starting to put time before money. What can I do that's more flexible? And I realized that people who were in sales weren't getting paid for their time, they were getting paid for their productivity. They were getting paid for their performance. And I realized if I could get paid for my performance instead of my time, I was starting to actually break the mold and detach my money making from my time. And that's when I started to develop this thing called leverage. I was leveraging a skill set to make money instead of actually giving a piece of my life to make money. And the day where you detach your money making from your time is when you start to build far more wealth. Okay, so when I started putting my time at a higher value than my money, I started to actually make money based on performance and results and productivity, and not on an hourly basis of me being in an office working for someone else and then me when I could use my time for whatever purpose I wanted to. Okay, so this is when I moved from an employee role into a self-employed situation where I was making money, but it was based on my own productivity and my own efforts, not on how long I stuck around the office. Does that make sense? And that was when I really discovered, wow, if I'm better and more productive here, I can make more money, but I was still using a bit of my time. So then I realized that if I had to actually make, or if I wanted to make or create more time even in that situation, I had to move from self-employed to become a business owner. And as a business owner, you're making a ton more money on repetition, okay, on repeat, especially when you're not even there. And that's a true business, because people who are self-employed like me, I thought I had a business in property and I was getting paid for every sale I did, which was way better than being an employee, but I realized I was still trading a little bit of time for money. So I'm like, what else can I do? How can I create more time? Even even more time than what I already had, and more money, okay? So I started to develop a business that now pays us. Our multiple businesses pay us. 2 of the 3 businesses specifically pay us while we're not there. And that is a true business. Okay, because you'll be able to deliver a service or a product continuously with systems and people who can do things for you without you being there. And that's when you absolutely maximize your time, okay? And when you do that, of course, you scale up your money, all right? And so when we do that and we have assets, we're generating a lot of money. Like I'm generating money right now by being here on camera. And I'm not even, this is not a money-making experience right now. I'm not earning any money. When I leave the studio today, I will not earn specifically from this, okay? Because our businesses are working in the background and our assets are working in the background to make the money for us. So right now I have the time to sit here and do this. I have the time to work on the things I want to work on. I have the time. So I've maximized my time freedom. And as a result of that, to get to, we've had to scale our wealth. So if you start putting your time beyond your money and you start valuing time is more than money and time is more valuable than money, you will start to actually scale your wealth without even realizing, okay? And so that is one of the most important concepts to understand. And those who are really great at managing their time, and I think of people like Warren Buffett, who's very pedantic and very specific about how he sets up his daily routine, how he actually runs his week. He's not too accessible because he knows his time is the most valuable thing on the planet. Particularly at his age, in his 90s, it's even more valuable. And that's why it costs over $5 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett, because his time, his 1 hour of lunch or 2 hours of lunch is worth over $5 million, because he can deploy his time into things that make so much money beyond his 24 hours a day, and that's the position you want to be in. But you can only do that if you start saying no to the things that make money and yes to the things that create more time, okay? So instead of working hard for money and getting paid once, start working hard at creating a system that creates money, and you'll make money continuously, and that's what really frees up your time. But you can only do that if you value your time. So this is the secret to getting rich, valuing time more than money. You'll start to ask better questions about how do I create more time and not just more money. If you start doing those things, I know you'll develop leverage, you'll develop scale, you'll develop systems, and you'll start answering these more important questions, and you'll have a more fulfilling, more productive and fruitful life, because your time on earth is the most important, valuable commodity you have. We only have a finite amount of it, and then it's over. Whereas money comes and goes. Money comes and goes, okay? So if you can create a system that allows you to create money and spend money, create money, spend, and it's there for you all the time, then you can spend your time on earth on the things you want to spend on. You can do the things you want to do, okay? So I hope that makes sense. If you've enjoyed this video, I've got a ton more videos on time management and money, entrepreneurship and success. So click above to check out the next video. But before you click, hit the subscribe button so you can be in line for the next video ASAP. And I'll see you on the other side.